Right, so we're going to carry on with PST8. And the phase 2 side of PST8 is obviously me as a trained driver or full licence holder, yeah?
Okay.
I'm going to play it as a trained, so I'm trained, yeah?
Yeah.
So I've got a test coming up in about 3 weeks' time.
Okay.
My instructor Bob couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
Because he's gone off playing golf. I think he's probably gone to Silverstone, actually. I wish I could have gone. But he has got the same car as you, so I am familiar with the controls of the Golf, yeah?
Yeah.
And he said to me today we were going to do a clearance. He mentioned about clearance ahead and to the sides.
Yeah.
And crossing the path and my general anticipation.
Okay.
So I've got a test in 3 weeks' time. So I've just been running through all the different subjects with Bob. And he said today we're just going to have a look at your clearance ahead to the sides. Crossing the path of traffic.
Yep.
And my general anticipation.
Okay.
So for this phase, because you just finished the phase, they'd give you a different name.
Yep.
But we'll stick with Tony, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah, so my name's Tony, or you can call me Clint Eastwood if you like. So I'll leave you to meet and greet, unless you've got any questions before we go on the roll. And if you have any questions, please ask them before they go on the roll, because they will be willing to answer them, yeah?
Yep.
So if you don't understand any part of the word picture, let them know, yeah?
Yep. Okay. So basically it's clearance, crossing the path and general anticipation. You've got a test in a couple of weeks, yeah?
Yeah, and when is, what level am I?
You're trained.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Right, so I'll hand over to you then.
Okay, hi Tony. My name's Nadia.
Hello, Nadia. Yeah.
And your instructor couldn't make it today,
All right.
so I'm taking over his lesson. He told me that you've got a test in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's about just under 3 weeks.
Okay, you looking forward to it?
Well, a bit nervous, but...
Okay, no problem. He told me we're going to be covering adequate clearance,
Yep.
crossing the path,
Yep.
and general anticipation.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to ask you a couple of questions before we start. Adequate clearance, what does that mean to you?
Is that my clearance in parked cars?
Yeah. And do you know how do you have a reference point? How do you judge that?
I think I just know it now, really.
Okay.
It's about a metre, isn't it?
Okay, so why is it important to have a meter?
In case the door opens or somebody walks out, or the car moves away.
Okay. And crossing the path, how do you know when it's safe to go?
Just going back to the clearance for a minute.
Okay.
I had this tip from an examiner at Luton once, which I think is very good. He said, have you got a reference point for your normal driving for being a metre from the curb?
Okay.
Oh yes, I have, yeah.
Okay. Do I ask you what that reference point is?
Well, I have a reference point,
Okay.
yeah. So, would that be the same reference point going past parked cars? But I would just use the outer edge of the parked car instead of the curb.
Okay, would I ask that or would I tell you that?
Well, have I got a reference point for my normal driving position?
Okay. So have you got a reference point for your normal driving position?
Yeah. I learned how to judge that ages ago. Stay a metre away from the curb.
Okay. So is this where I say to you, we can probably use that, or do I say, is that what you use?
You know, could you use that with the...
Could you use that with your parked cars?
Well, yeah, I suppose the outer edge of the parked car is the same as the curb, isn't it?
Yep, so what we'll do is we'll look at that.
Oh, right.
And crossing the path. What routine would you use on approach?
Oh, the MSN routine for turning right.
Okay, and what does the MSN routine mean to you?
Oh, mirror signal manoeuvre.
Okay, and manoeuvre, what's that broken down into?
Well, it's MSPSL, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mirror signal, position, speed, look routine.
Okay, and how are you judging whether it's safe to go or not?
Oh, I just know now. I mustn't force the car to slow, stop or swerve.
Okay, that's brilliant. And anticipation, if you're driving past a parked bus, which is pulled up on the side, what do you anticipate could be coming out of that bus?
Pedestrians.
Okay, and if you were see signs for a school, what do you anticipate could happen?
School children.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah?
Yep. So I'd like you to set yourself up.
All right,
and see how you get on with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so what can you see from your middle mirror?
I can see, I'm using this white plasticky bit as a frame. I'm using the back window as a picture. I put the frame around the picture. I can see a bit of my head restraint. I can see a bit of yours.
Okay. And your left door mirror? Left being this side?
Oh, left, sorry. I can see the door handles.
Yep.
And I can see right down the road. I can see the house right at the end of the road.
Okay. And the right?
That's this side. I can see the door handles again. And again, I can see right down to the end of that junction.
Okay, fantastic. So, start the car and off we go.
Turn right.
Okay, I'd like you to turn right, please.
And right again.
And I'd like you to turn right again.
You got a nice easy job.
I was just going to say, I'd like to talk about those, but I was just thinking because the roads are so narrow.
And we're going to turn left.
And I'd like you to turn left, please. Would I talk about where you'd park? Because you were kind of parked at the right place, weren't you? Because there were parked cars on the side.
Sorry?
I said, with that turning right, there's not a lot I could talk about because you were obviously turning at the right place because you had parked cars.
Yeah, I was actually... I could have been crossing the path of a car there, though, couldn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Could you have asked anything there?
I could have, yeah. But then if I'd said to you, how would you know whether it's safe to go or not? You'd say, well, I just know.
Well, if you could say to me, if there was a car coming towards you, Tony,
Okay, if there was a car coming towards
how would you judge whether it's safe to go in front of that car?
Okay,
Well, I mustn't make it slow, stop, or swerve,
okay.
and that's the correct answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless I can remember the wrong, unless there is a car coming towards me, and I try to go too early, then you'd have to pull me over and go into the how, which would be the walk across, drive across rule, yeah.
Okay.
But there'd be no need to go with the walk across, drive across rule if I'm getting it right, and I know that I mustn't force them to slow, stop, or swerve.
Okay.
And we're going to turn left.
And I'd like you to turn left.
So is it good fun being a driving instructor?
It's fantastic.
Especially in this weather, it must be nice to be out all day.
It's brilliant.
You get a suntan on your left hand, don't you?
That's it.
Or your left arm.
So Tony, how much clearance are you going to give this parked car?
A metre.
A metre, yeah. And how are you judging that?
I'm using that reference point. Good girl. And why is that?
And why is that important to use that reference
Oh
point?
yeah, those doors might open. That car might move away.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes I had a pedestrian walk out from behind one day. It's not easy to see pedestrians when you got loads of parked cars together like that, is it?
No. This is why what we do is we probably reduce our speed while we're going past it.
I'll tell you what I found I can sometimes see underneath the cars.
Yeah, for feet.
Yeah. Because I think where you have feet, you normally get a buddy on top, don't you?
That's it.
Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Unless somebody's playing a prank on you.
It's a nice car.
Roundabout right.
Okay, I'd like you to go right at the roundabout, please. So how much clearance would you give a cyclist, Tony?
Oh yeah, they wobble, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they swerve around these potholes and that, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, Bob said I should always give them nearly twice as much as I would a parked car if I could.
Yep, so how much would that be, roughly?
About 2 meters.
Yeah. Or like a whole car's clearance.
Yeah, because Bob said if they fall off, they'd fall into the road, don't they?
That's it.
Roundabout right.
I'd like you to go right at the roundabout.
And at the roundabout ahead, turning left.
Okay, at the roundabout ahead, I'd like you to turn left, please.
Yeah, I'm really nervous about my test.
Well, your driving seems to be quite good.
Yeah, I really need the pass. I'm fed up waiting for them buses every day.
You're waiting for those buses?
Yeah.
Well, so far your knowledge is quite good, so if you carry on like this, I don't see why you shouldn't pass.
Yeah, I've got very good knowledge of the buses. Tell you the timetables off by heart.
So if you see a bus stop ahead,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
I
see
can
a bus
recognise
going
one
past
of them,
it,
yeah.
what do you anticipate could happen?
I anticipate he's probably going to drive away without me.
That's it.
Yeah, pedestrians walking out. I know when I'm running, because I'm always late for the bus, I always run straight across the road. And a couple of times I've made vehicles have to brake really hard.
That's it. So if you see a bus stop, what do you anticipate could be around those buses?
Yeah, pedestrians
Bus stops,
running back.
that's
Yeah, it's probably me.
it. Exactly.
We're going to turn left.
I would like to send it to you. So by looking at road signs, you could probably anticipate what would be happening with even bus stops, for example. If you see a bus stop, you can anticipate that maybe children, pedestrians could be next to the bus stop. And what's the first thing you'd do if you saw a pedestrian crossing the road?
Bob always told me in the early days, it's anything to do with anticipation, is the mirrors.
Yeah. So which mirror would you check first?
Middle.
Okay. And then?
I'll get a spike, haven't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
So how much clearance do
I'll
you
get
get this
2
way?
meters, yeah.
What do you do before you actually...
I should have checked the mirrors.
That's it. And why is it important to check the middle mirror?
Distance speed.
And why is that important?
So,
Why is that important to know the distance and speed?
just coming out of road there.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you saw that bike prioritise, yeah?
Yep, okay.
Because bikes are something that really must come into anticipation, even
Believe me, I learned that the hard way.
even if you don't come across them, yeah?
Yep. So why was it important to give about 2 meters clearance to that one?
They bobble, don't they?
Yeah,
They're worse than pedestrians, aren't they? Because they're on 2 wheels, aren't they?
that's it.
Pretty quiet today.
Who, me or?
No, the roads.
The roads, I was just going to say. It's a Sunday. Everyone's at home, relaxing, sitting clothes on. So Tony, if these bicycles were actually on the road, would you anticipate that could happen?
No, I give them loads of room because they wobble, don't they? But it's good when they've got a cycling path, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, yeah. But most of them still decide to ride their bikes wherever and whenever.
Yeah, well, I ride a bike now and again, and these cycling paths, because they're not looked after, you get loads of punctures, so I can understand people riding on the road. So I have got empathy with certain little cyclists. Because every time I use a cycling path, I end up changing my mending punctures for the rest of the day. Do you ride a bike?
No, I don't. I did when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah. Used to fall off it. It's only
You got a good memory.
That's it. It was only a couple of years ago anyway, so it's not too long ago.
Was it a pink bike?
It wasn't actually, it was silver.
Silver.
Yeah. So if there is nothing to talk about, what do you talk about?
Just the way you're talking in general, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? You don't always have to be,
Yeah, because I thought there's only a certain amount of scenarios you can bring up.
well, just
I mean, yeah.
just
okay, I can
just
talk
keep thinking
it.
about the subjects we're covering.
Yeah.
The scenarios might not be there at the moment,
Yeah.
but believe me, they will present themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tony, I'm going to say something that might totally be irrelevant, but there's a guy jogging towards us. What do you anticipate could happen?
Well, he's got the earpieces in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's probably listening to one of them funny pop groups, isn't he?
Yep, and probably hasn't got a care in the world and hasn't realised he could have.
But I can see he was jogging quite straight.
Okay, Tony, we've got a bicycle ahead of us. How much clearance are you
Oh, I saw the bicycle there.
Yep. So how much clearance would you be giving that bicycle? What's the first thing you're going to be
Well, if I
doing?
can catch him first.
Okay, what's the first thing you're going to be doing?
Checking my mirrors.
Okay, so check him.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
What are you looking for?
This is the speed of the vehicle behind me.
And then what other mirror are you going to be checking?
Yeah, the white one. See if anybody's overtaking me.
And if there was?
I'd let him go because they'd be in conflict with our traffic. He's gone faster than me, isn't he?
Yeah. Because obviously red lights ahead anyway. So, so how much clearance are you going to give this ahead?
What, the bike?
Stop. Yeah. And right, you know, I knew what you were going to do. I was thinking of the words to say.
Oh,
How
sorry.
much clearance would you get? Or what would I refer to that as?
Yeah, how far are you going to stop from my car?
Stop from that parked car, okay. Because I thought if I say how much clearance are you going to give that parked
Did I
car?
make a mistake there?
You did, yeah. What you did, Tony, is you drove too close to the parked car. And obviously it stopped for traffic lights. It's very important
I didn't hit him, did I?
You didn't hit him, no. However, if that car had broken down ahead of you, you need to make sure you've got enough gap to actually squeeze past it. There could have been an emergency vehicle coming behind you. You might have needed to pull over slightly to the left, but you couldn't because you were too close behind. So, have you ever heard of the term tyres and tarmac?
I think so, yeah. Bob did mention it actually.
What you've got to do is you've got to make sure you can see enough tyres and the back of the car's tyres and some tarmac to know you could safely manoeuvre past if you had to. However, if there was a bus that had stopped ahead and you can't see the tyres because obviously the tyres are a lot further back, the hole at the back of the bus and some tarmac, if you can see that, that's a safe enough gap for you to stop.
You know, sometimes you see on the back of buses or the back of lorries, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
Yeah. So what that bus is trying to say is if you park too close to it and you can't see the side of its mirrors, then it can't see that you're behind.
Oh, right. So that's a good way of judging it.
Yeah.
So if I can see his mirrors.
Yeah. Then you know that he can see you.
Yeah.
And also you can manoeuvre past it if you had to.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yep. So the next time we are in a situation like that, I'll prompt you first and you can tell me what you do.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's alright. Because we were lucky the car in front didn't break down. If we were, we'd just be stuck behind him for about
Yeah,
half
I'd
an
just
hour.
sit here while you push it.
Yeah, so basically you would be sitting there all day then.
Sorry?
I said in that case
Oh,
you
you
would be
don't do
sitting
car
there all
pushing, do
day.
you know?
Nope.
Do you know?
Huh? Forget
Well,
that for-
Well, you wouldn't make me do it, would you?
Of course. I'd grab people on the road and get them to do it as well.
Oh, as long as you don't ask me to do it.
So, a motorbike, this is just a general question, would you give them the same clearance? But I guess they'd be going a lot faster then, you probably wouldn't have a chance to give them clearance.
Some of them mopeds.
Yeah, mopeds.
Yeah.
Same as a bike, yeah?
Yeah, I treat them mopeds same as the bike because they're even worse than they, because they even tend to walk more, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
You ride a moped?
Nope. I stick to what I know. And notice the way I'm not going to say I stick to what I'm good at, I stick to what I know.
I think you look good in a moped.
I might try it out.
Yeah, one like that.
I'm definitely with the nail on
And you can do it like the stick with the dark helmet.
it.
And I can tell everybody I'm going to drive with the stick, couldn't I? They'll all be jealous. He wouldn't pull out in front of me, would he?
You know, I was actually going to talk about that. I was going to say to you, what do you anticipate that car head's going to do? Because with cars that are coming out to emerge, it's not always the case where they might not even know about the walk across, drive across rule. They might just think, actually, we're in a bit of a hurry. We don't know what's going on in their life. They might just pull out. So, do you know how to know whether...
I'll tell you what I did do there.
Mm.
I kind of made eye contact with him.
Yeah.
And I could see that he looked at me.
Yeah. So then he's aware that you are
Well,
approaching him.
I've got an idea he's aware, haven't I?
Yeah. So at a situation like that, what's the first mirror you check?
Oh, I always check the mirrors. Mirrors are anticipation, aren't they?
Yeah. So you might want to do that next time. And why a mirror is important for anticipation?
Well, because if I have to slow down and stop, I need to know that the vehicle behind me. Because if the vehicle behind me is too close,
Yeah.
then obviously I need longer to. I need to give that vehicle longer to stop, don't I?
Yeah. So looking ahead,
Yeah.
traffic lights are red. What do you anticipate is going to happen?
They're going to go green.
So what's the first thing you're going to do?
I'll check the mirrors.
Yeah. And what are you checking the mirrors for?
Distance, speed.
Okay, we're lucky they changed green before we approached them.
Is that a trick question?
No, I just said it. I don't know what else to talk about anticipation, so I might as well just talk about traffic lights changing anticipation.
Well, if they had to change, what would be your next role? What would be the next thing that you'd be asking me?
How much clearance you'd give the parked car?
Yeah.
So how much clearance, Tony, are you going to give that parked car?
A meter.
Okay, what's the first thing you can do?
Check the mirrors. Look underneath the car, see if I can see any tires. Turn left at the roundabout.
I'd like you to turn left to the roundabout.
You know, an idea that you have to give a meter.
Mm-hmm.
I went down the road the other day. I was getting a bit of practice with my wife, and there was cars parked both sides of the road. And I stopped. I said, I can't go down there. And she said, get on with it. She started to shout at me. I said, I can't go down there. I can't give a meter.
Okay, I knew exactly where you were going with this. Sometimes,
Oh, you met my wife, have you?
yeah, the narrower the gap, the tighter the road, the lower the speed. I'm trying to find the right words for that.
Oh, right.
So what you do is you can't always give a meter clearance. So what you do is
And we're going to turn left.
and I'd like you to turn left. What do you anticipate these children